Hey everyone, Gil here at GrayManPrepping. I want to talk to you today about something that is of concern to me and should be of every prepper, real prepper, and that's going to offend a few people, but hey, pay attention to find out whether or not you're a real prepper. Well, some people I've been talking to over the years that claim to be preppers, survivalists, whatever, have in their preps, their stores, whatever you want to call it, they have a supply of these cans of seeds, the emergency seeds for growing a garden. And a lot of them I've talked to, I've asked them, well, have you ever grown a garden? Oh, no, but it's easy. I just use instructions. You just put the seeds in the ground and it grows. No, it doesn't. There are a lot of failures. If you're watching any of the garden channels and homesteading channels, you see there's a lot of failures with garden crops. But there's also a lot of successes if you do it right. And I want to talk to you about a little bit how to build successes here. But you don't do it instantaneous. It takes time. Right now I'm standing out here next to the house with the orchard here in California. I want to show you some of those successes here. This here is an apricot tree. If you look at all these apricots on this tree, you say, wow, that's great. Yeah, a lot of apricots. Yes, we have a lot of apricots on this tree. However, it took quite a few years for this tree to get developed enough to produce this many apricots. This tree is about 8 years old. Yeah, 8 years to get a tree that produces a lot of apricots. It produced a good number last year, but this year it's producing like 3 times as much as it did last year. And we got all sorts of cool apricots on here, yummy ones, delicious ones. I mean, pick one. See, this one here was about ready to fall off. I just barely touched it, and this one here came off. And how do I know it's really ripe? Well, hang on, let me show you. Run my thumbnail along the seam there, and it should just, oh yeah, pops right open like that. Look at that, a nice apricot. Good, yummy apricot for just eating straight off the tree, dehydrating, or making jams. All right, so let's. I want to show you some of the other things that takes a few years to get going, but produces a lot of food for you if you take the time to get it going ahead of time before the big disasters, resets, whatever you want to call it. All right. This tree here, it's not very tall. It's about 9 feet tall is all it is. This was my one of my mother's orange trees that she had in a 55-gallon barrel that had been cut in half, so 27.5 gallons. Now, this tree here probably spent its first 8-9 years of life in that pot. After my mom passed away in 2008, I believe it was, the following spring, we planted it in the ground. Now, I'm going to try to get this in close enough where you can see all the fruit on it. See all those oranges back in there, up and around. And there's even some green oranges in there that are just starting. Even low fruit on it here. I come around to the side here. You can see more from it in over here. All right, and we've been picking oranges off this thing, so that's not all the oranges it had on it. That's just one of the trees. Now, the other tree I'm underneath here right now, I keep forgetting. This one's either a Fuji or Granny Smith, and the other one's the opposite. So we got one Fuji, one Granny Smith apple trees here. And even down under here, lots of apples. Apples. Apples, 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 apples. I mean, I'm going to pull this around and get a better shot in here. Look at the cluster of apples up there. If we go up higher look up higher in the tree. Lots of apples up there. All right. And we planted these trees about 2008, 2009. So they've been in the ground a while, and they're producing a lot of apples now. But, you know, you can't just hurry things on. Oh, I'm just going to throw seeds in the garden and I'm going to get a lot of fruit. Oh, it looks like the collapse is going to be next year. I'm going to plant an apple tree or a fruit tree or a cherry tree or something, and I'll have fruit next year. No, you won't. Stone fruit like apricot, citrus, apples, they all take time to grow. You can't just hurry them up and make them start producing when you want them to. You need to plant them now. And some people are saying, well, I don't have a large piece of property. Granted, I'm lucky. This place in California here is a 1/3 acre. It's not a normal 1/4 acre lot. And I've had it for, 34 years now. So let me go over here and show you something else we just did today. Let me get in here. The light, aim the other way because the light's not going to let it show good. So over on the Camppatton Family Compound channel, I did a video about these green stock vertical stacking planters. Now, most of this is now afterwards. These are all we put this together today, filled it with the dirt, transplanted all these strawberries here into it. Excuse me while I finish this off. It's just too good to waste. Okay, so, I mean, these were all in 4-inch pots that my wife had just had sitting out front. And what she do is she has other ones there, and as a runner would start to form, she'd put that runner into one of the pots. And that way, we got a ice cream truck going by. You're not supposed to be out here anyways. All right, so let's talk about the runners on these. Let's see if I can show you what one of the runners looks like here. Here we go, right here. So there's a runner right there. That's what it's going to look like, the little knob thing. If you set that against the ground or on another pot and just put a little bit of dirt over part of it here, you get another strawberry plant. That's simple. These are the pots all those strawberries that were over there were in. All right, so that's what she does. She grows a lot of, transfers a lot of strawberries that way. Here's something else. See all these grapes? These grapes have been out here for over 10 years. Some of the varieties my boys picked when they were little, and so we planted them. We got Ruby Red, we got some Thompson seedless, and another seedless one as well, because they didn't like seeds in their grapes, so they picked them out. But yeah, it's been growing up here over the arbor here, and I said it's been 10 years. We took one out, and it's coming back up from its rootstock down here where we didn't get all the root. So some plants like grapes are really great for preppers because, hey, yeah, it looks like the top's going to die off and it comes right back. Let's go out to the front yard here, show you something else here. Now this tree here, the lemon tree, this tree was here when I bought the place, but it froze back just to the nub. And we thought it was dead, we're going to lose it. We had a real bad freeze that year. But can you see all of those lemons up there, all those yellow lemons? And you see the green up here, those are the next crop starting already, all the green lemons up there. And we come under here and you just look at all of these lemons. And these are the ones that have fallen off in the last 24 hours. My wife gives them away. But we have lemons in a bad situation, hey, lemons have a lot of uses for prepping. You can actually use the lemon juice to bleach stuff. All right, and there's the lemons are needed. Lemon juice is needed for. Let me think here for a second, but I was losing it. Dehydrating, like apricots and stuff like that. So that's what lemons are great for. Tomatoes. This is a tomato plant that my wife planted. Let's go wandering up through the front yard jungle here. And what do we have up here? We got a bunch of columbine, an herb. We got blueberries, a lot of blueberries. My wife was out here earlier and she picked a lot of the blueberries and already got a bunch more turning blue. Tomatoes, remnants of that rainbow chard was left over from last year and survived the winter. And she's got basil out there, a couple tubs of basil. Sunflower here. A lot of volunteer sunflowers around from last year. And she has onions and garlic. And she just harvested a whole mess of garlic yesterday. But get over here. I mean, she just pulls off the chard that gets too old and bitter and just leaves it on the ground to mulch. But here, strawberries. This is where my wife gets a lot of strawberries from. All these strawberries. She'll go in here. Like this one here is starting to turn to be a runner. You see the way it's turning up? That means it's getting ready to pot. But we got strawberries coming out the wazoo. Strawberries take a couple years to get going where they start producing like this. It's not something you do quick. So this is not a quick job out here. It takes some time. But we have a lot of stuff that comes up really good. The little purple flowers over, that's borage. You can do a lot of stuff with borage. Plus, it keeps the tomato hornworms away from the tomatoes. They just don't like it. And she's got pots here with different squash in it. Another that sunflower there was a volunteer. So there's a lot of things you can do, but you gotta do it now, preppers. It's not something that you can wait, oh, well, all right, when the collapse happens, then I'll plant a garden. No, it ain't gonna work. Because the first several years, if you don't have enough food storage for several years, 3, 4, 5 years, you're gonna starve. You need to get stuff in the ground now, learning what works, learning what doesn't work, learning how to deal with pests and problems of gardening. All right, let's go back around over here. Got something else to show you in the back here. But she plants a lot of vegetables and non-vegetables, but she also has a lot of herbs planted in here. Go on by the lemon tree and head on to the back, because I forgot to show you something back here. Now, all those apricots, we got a boatload in the house, but my wife went and cut them in half and got them in the dehydrator here. They're going full tilt right now. We only got half the trays filled up because we weren't sure how it was going to work out, and we want to make sure we had plenty of airflow around them. So we're learning about dehydrating. We did some last year. We're doing more right now than she did last year off this tree. All right, head back over here past the apricot. All right, so we got a tangerine tree. We got another. Look at the size of that orange. Monster oranges in here. Right? And we got another orange tree over here with a bunch more oranges down under here. Look at all these oranges. All right? We planted all these trees in 2008, 2009, 2010. Peach tree. Look at the size of this peach. All right. And another lemon tree. This is a Meyer lemon back here. We're not sure what the one up front is, but this one here, ow, 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 very pokey. But look at all those lemons back in there. Look at all those lemons. Yeah, I say it's taking a while for some of these. And then she has artichokes that have just gone wild here, big, huge. But what it is. You know, a cherry tree. Cherries are all gone already. Onions. Going to seed. Big old onions here. So, and the latest. This little thing here of all the little red blossoms on it here. Pomegranates. And there's some pomegranates down here. Come over here. Alright, so there's a pomegranate there, a little one there, another one over there. Last year I only had one. This year, oh, it's got another one over here, another one over here. So it's got another one. So it's got like one last year, 10 this year. There's more down in there, yeah. So at least at maybe 12 or 14, all right? So it takes time. So first year bearing fruit, 1. Second year, a dozen plus. You got to start your garden now. And if you, like I say, if you're in an apartment, you can do container gardens. On Camppatton Family Compound a couple weeks ago, we did a live stream specifically on container gardens. And a couple weeks before that, we did one on for beginner gardeners. The information is out there, not just on my channel, other channels. The Broussards, Steve at Corsair Trainers has a small garden in his backyard. He's learning and experimenting as he goes. Kaylin Strain, her channel, she does. She's doing some container gardens on the little balcony of her apartment. All right, it can be done. You can do it. Do it. All right. So if you think this video is helpful to you in any way, please click the subscribe button if you're not subscribed. Also, give me a thumbs up if you are subscribed or just subscribed. And share it out to those that you know, friends, family, neighbors, who might be interested about growing a garden, being more prepared for whatever. Alrighty? So as always, stay happy, stay safe, stay prepared, grow something, and I'll see you in the next video. Alrighty?